Ladies and gentlemen, you knew it was coming, and Maul's kit has finally arrived on the holotables. No official post from CG yet. We got my boys over at Reality Skewed Gamers getting an exclusive here. Congrats to those guys. Love to see it. And Ranger was kind enough to give me a heads up on this right as he posted his video so that the Cubs fam could also discuss this. And so I've got kit information here, and I am just going to be reading this to you. We're going to go full screen here. I'm going to drop a link to their video down below so you guys can see all of the visuals. I want them to get attention for this. Please go give them the views that they deserve for this exclusive that they got here with Capital Games. And in the meantime, we're going to talk about it here in the fam too, because that's what we want to do as well. And so I'm going to be reacting with you live on this. And you know, I'm just gonna call and point out my own weaknesses. Understanding kit information day one, not always my strength. And so if I get something wrong on understanding this, like I did with Executor and how that contract works, just let me know in the comments and we'll all get through this. But you'll have all of the information here right now. So here we go. Starting with his basic. His basic is called Crushing Blow. And it says, deal physical damage to target enemy. If this is the first attack Maul used on this turn, Maul gains 1 stack of anguish, stacking max 5, and if it critically hits, Maul gains another stack of anguish. And so you got 2 opportunities to gain anguish there. Let me read that to you guys one more time just so we can be clear. If this is the first attack Maul used on this turn, Maul gains 1 stack of anguish, stacking max of 5. If he critically hits, Maul gains another stack of anguish. So you get 2 on a critical hit. Anguish takes damage at the start of their turn equal to 2% of their max health for each stack of anguish and gains that much offense until the end of their turn. This character can't be defeated by this damage. And so very, very fitting for Maul. I love the use of that term anguish, because it really doesn't it feel like to you, Maul is just, he's living in anguish at this point of his arc. All right, special 1, Fervent Rush, and this is a Zeta, has a cooldown of 3. Dispel all buffs on the target enemy. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict offense down for 2 turns. This attack deals 5% more damage for each debuff dispelled. That's nice. Maul gains 2 stacks of anguish, stacking max 5. If an enemy was defeated by this attack, Maul instead gains the maximum attacks of anguish. Interesting. So far, both of his attacking abilities are going to have an opportunity to gain anguish. And if Maul ends up defeating somebody with his first special, then he just goes straight to max stacks of anguish, which will be 10% max health damage. Remember, so he takes damage at the start of his turn. It'll be 10% max health damage, but then also that much offense will be gained as well. Let's see here. Is there anything else here? No. All right. Special 2, Seething Rage. And this has a cooldown of 0. Is that a typo? I don't think that's a typo. Not a typo. Okay, so Seething Rage special number 2, we're going to be able to, this is going to be like B1. You can use this as much as you want. Interesting. Deal true damage to target enemy and inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. If Maul has 5 anguish, okay, so we got a condition here. You have a cooldown of 0, but the ability is going to want you to use it when it's got the max stacks of anguish, right? So if Maul has 5 anguish, increase target enemies' cooldowns by 2. Whoa, we've got cooldown increase in the game, but a double cooldown increase there. This does exclude raid bosses and Galactic Legends. They had to slip that in there. Maul loses 1 stack of anguish and takes a bonus turn. This attack can't be countered. Each time this ability is used, it deals 60% more damage on subsequent uses and increases by an additional 60% until Maul uses a different ability during his turn. This ability can't be used unless Maul has Anguish. Okay, and that text says this ability can't be used if Maul has Anguish, or can't be used unless Maul has Anguish. It doesn't say he has to have 5 stacks of Anguish, just says he has to have some Anguish. But it definitely looks like you're going to want to wait until that 5 stack hits, and then you just start wrecking people. And based on the way his special works and his basic, you're gonna be able to use this pretty quickly, especially if you can get a defeat with Fervent Rush, that first special. Also, really interested to see how this is going to work in territory battles, actually, because and conquest, any of those longer battles. This is going to be interesting to see. All right, we do have a leader, and this is very Mandalorian focused, and this is a lot of text here. So again, to read this ability, pull up Reality Skewed Gamers video. Leader, Usurper. Mandalorian allies have plus 5% max health for each Mandalorian ally at the start of the battle and 25% offense. So this is interesting that we're getting a lot of Mandalorian synergy right off the gate. We knew he was going to be a Mandalorian leader, but we also know he's going to work with Lord Vader. And so I think this is going to kind of be a kind of like Cat can be used with Padme very effectively, but we also have, Cat slotted into a Kenobi team, and that's probably the most ideal use. I'm guessing it's going to be similar. Under Lord Vader, Maul won't be the leader, and so this won't be an effect. There won't really be a need, right? And remains to be seen exactly how Maul will work there. But having him as a Mandalorian leader, I have a feeling this might make Mandalorians viable. Might. So anyway, we'll start this over. That's just a little side tangent there. So Mandalorian allies have plus 5% max health for each Mandalorian ally at the start of the battle and 25% offense. At the start of the battle, if Maul is in the leader slot and not in the ally slot, Mandalorian. So I'm wondering what situation at the start of the battle if Maul is in the leader slot and not in the ally slot. This is his leader ability, so if he's not in the leader slot, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? Maybe there's a situation I'm not thinking of. Anyway, at the start of the battle, if Maul is in the leader slot and not in the ally slot, Mandalorians in the leader slot gain 1 stack of Mandalore, stacking max 2 until they are defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. When a character with the Mandalore is defeated, this character, let me start this one over. When a character with Mandalore is defeated, the character that defeated them gains Mandalore until they're defeated. There can't be any more than 2 Mandalore effects in the battle. Okay? Mandalorian allies deal 20% more damage when they target an enemy with Mandalore, with the buff, right? And this is spelled differently. You'll see this on, but you've got Mandalore and then you got MAND''ALOR. That's how that buff is spelled. While there are 2 Mandalore buffs on allied characters, all Mandalorian allies deal 50% more damage during their turn. Mandalore, and then here's the Mandalore buff. Mandalorian allies assist, dealing 50% less damage when this character uses an ability during their turn. At the start of every turn, dispel all debuffs on the healthiest Mandalorian ally without Mandalore, and that target ally gains Taunt and plus 100% defense. Remember, they're shoring up defense here, so that's probably going to be pretty significant until the end of that turn. Defeating this character will grant Mandalore to the character that defeated them. If this character is defeated by a status effect, Mandalore will not be granted to anyone. Interesting. That is one of those big brain. I'm sure there's a lot of nuance to that. And so, again, go check out the video down below. Read over that ability. I'm sure we'll be studying that for a little bit. And then we got, lastly here, the unique Bound by Hatred. And this is a Zeta as well. Maul's attacks are unavoidable. Oh, wow. Just straight up saying it. Maul has unavoidable attacks. So that's 3 attacks that are all unavoidable. Holy cow. I think that's the first time we've seen that on every attack. And has plus 15% offense. And so I'm sensing some offense mods there. At the start of the battle, Maul gains Frenzy. That's nice. And Retribution for 2 turns. and 3 stacks of anguish. Wow, he starts with 3 stacks of anguish. Holy cow. So all you need to do is do your basic, and if you crit with your basic, so you're also going to want some crit chance on him probably. Basic crit, you got 5 stacks of anguish, and then next turn, pop Seething Rage, his second special, and I think that's going to be a really quick boom, boom. Really interesting. Not an instant defeat, but it's going to be pretty devastating, it looks like. If there is an enemy Kenobi, okay, here's the Kenobi condition, guys. If there is an enemy Kenobi, Maul instead gains the maximum stacks of anguish. Holy cow! I'm going full Harry Carry here, guys. So, against any Kenobi, you're going to be able to pop that, mini ultimate ability, Seething Rage, on turn 1. It's got no cooldown, no starting cooldown, 5 stacks of anguish, boom, boom. Interesting. While Maul has 3 or more stacks of anguish, he is immune to stun and ability block. That is, man, it's going to be really hard to avoid that second special, Seething Rage. While Maul has 5 stacks of anguish, he ignores taunt and is always critically hit by enemy attacks. So you've got, wow, this is so fitting for Maul. I just tip of the cap to the people who design these kits and how they fit in elements of the character's lore into the kit language. I think they nailed it with Maul, and we're gonna have to see how this all plays out. And by the way, there are animations. You can get a first look at the animations over on Reality Skewed Gamers video as well. But just kind of the self-sabotage that Maul has in here. He's taking, obviously the percentage damage against himself. That's also kind of making him angry and getting him more offense. He's gonna take those critical hits. He's vulnerable, right? But he's also coming at you really strong with his anguish and with his seething rage. Really exciting stuff. We're going to talk more about this over on my stream here, which will be starting here before too long. So be sure to come over and enjoy that. And I know a lot of you guys are asking about the mod series videos with Gridden. Grid and I, we're going to release a mod video very soon. This is going to take the front seat for a second, so maybe plan on that over the weekend. We will be back, and our next mod video is going to be on your boy, SLKR. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Link down below to see the rest of the information. I would encourage you to listen to that, and I think that they have a dev interview coming up as well over on Reality Skewed Gamers channel. So Maul's here, at least the kit's here. What do you guys think? Like the video on the way out, and as always, my brothers, don't forget,